What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So I talked about the women's soccer team being the #1 recruiting class, but yeah, that also means that football and women's basketball were also recently the #1 recruiting classes in their respective sports. So yes, USC is doing work on the recruiting front. And then they asked who should win the Biletnikoff Award. Obviously, Makai Lemon barely edges out Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State with a .4 PFF grade average, and I think even the Big Ten, they're part of the same conference, gave the award to Jeremiah Smith, but everybody's been giving a lot of praise to Makai Lemon, especially the PFF All-American team. They have him there, and he's ahead of supposedly Jeremiah Smith, technically, in the way they're situated. And also Bishop Fitzgerald made it as a safety too, which is pretty cool. And then a PFF freshman All-American was Stewart of USC on the defensive line, and then a couple finalists for the Polynesian College Player of the Year, Jada Mayava and Makai Lemon of USC. And USC is expected to be forced to leave LA Memorial Coliseum for the 2028 season because of the Olympic Games, which is going to be interesting because they will most likely be playing their home games at SoFi Stadium, which kind of sucks because I think UCLA is trying to work out a deal to make that official for them. Now that to be their home instead of the Rose Bowl, but maybe for that one season, USC could take up the Rose Bowl, which would be pretty awesome in my opinion. A lot less places to fill, but definitely be a little bit more special if they do that. Then Ethan Booby Feaster had a single season receiving record down there in Texas with 1,474 receiving yards. Aaron Washington, the 2027 four-star cornerback, says he's kind of narrowed it down to two schools, and it looks like it's USC as one of those two. And USC impressed the 2027 four-star edge, Mekhi Brown, on his recent visit. The 2027 five-star running back, Kamon Spell, released the top 5 in USC. Made it. Four-star running back Noah Roberts is down to 10 schools in USC. Made it. And when it comes to the top 10 of the 2027 defensive lineman, John Ione, he's a 4-star. USC made his list. 4-star 2027 safety Gavin Williams released the top 10, and USC made that list. I want to go through some of these guys who I think were entering the transfer portal, who I think could help out USC. Wide receiver Nick Marsh of Michigan State. North Carolina linebacker Kamari House. LSU defensive lineman Ahmad Brew, who has a couple years left of eligibility. UCLA defensive back Scooter Jackson. Georgia cornerback Daniel Harris. Arkansas cornerback Keyshawn Davila. Oklahoma State safety Landon Cleveland. UCLA cornerback LaRue Zamorino, also went to Centennial High School. Boston College linebacker Jason Hewlett. Illinois defensive lineman Jeremiah Warren. Clemson safety Khalil Barnes. Yale wide receiver Nico Brown. Syracuse linebacker Derek McDonald. Florida defensive lineman Travarius Brown. Bowling Green linebacker Gideon Lamprin. So yeah, I think these guys can help out, whether it's for the 1 year or they have a couple years of eligibility left, but just a handful of guys that I think that USC is looking at and should look at to be able to add to this roster this season.